The illegal immigrant truck driver accused in a deadly crash in Indiana. It killed 4 people. The driver reportedly entered the United States under President Biden using the CBP One app and released on parole. Senior correspondent Mike Tobin has this tragic story. Hi, Mike.
And sadly, Dana, it's another case of someone who entered the U.S. under Biden administration.
You need to see how a single administrative failure just cost 4 innocent people their lives on an Indiana highway. This isn't just news. It's a total system breakdown.
Senior correspondent Mike Tobin has this tragic story. Hi, Mike.
And sadly, Dana, it's another case of someone who entered the U.S. under Biden administration policies, went to a sanctuary state, got a license to get behind a big rig, and now someone is hurt or killed. It happened in Indiana on Tuesday. One truck on State Road 67 slowed down. The truck behind him did not, instead swerved into oncoming traffic. The truck hit a van transporting 4 men from Indiana's Amish community. The 4 men were killed. The driver of that van is now in critical condition. Indiana State Police report the driver of the semi-truck is 30-year-old Bezkan Beshikiv from Kazakhstan. He entered the U.S. using the Biden administration CBP One cell phone app, and that was in December of 23. Beshikiv was issued a commercial driver's license by the state of Pennsylvania.
Look at the devastation on that road. We're talking about a driver from Kazakhstan who entered through the CBP One app and somehow got a commercial license in Pennsylvania despite the massive red flags. It's wild because while the headlines focus on the politics of the border, the reality is these big rigs are being handed over to people who have barely been in the country for a year. Notice how the reporter mentions he swerved into oncoming traffic. This wasn't just a mechanical failure. It was a catastrophic human error from someone the system waved through. It makes you wonder what's actually happening during those background checks if a commercial truck ends up being used like a weapon. We have to demand better standards because legal status on paper doesn't mean someone is qualified to handle 80,000 pounds of steel at highway speeds. It's a tragedy that didn't have to happen.
If I was going to speak directly to the president right now, I would say you are at the end of your career, and when you are gone, I will spend the rest of mine working to undo your legacy, and I won't be alone. There will be millions of people who work to take your name off of everything until one day I might have the privilege to sit in the Renee Good Hotel and Spa in the Alex Preddy Lounge, and I will sit back and I will thank Donald Trump for everything he built.
Did you catch the intensity in her eyes? This isn't just a regular political disagreement. This is a promise to erase an entire era of history. She's literally talking about sitting in a lounge named after the victims of these crimes while watching a legacy get dismantled piece by piece. It's a fascinating look into the deep-seated resentment that's fueling current activism. When someone says they will spend the rest of their career working to take a name off of everything, they aren't looking for a middle ground. They're looking for a total cultural reset. It's pretty chilling when you realize how many people share this exact sentiment, that the goal isn't just to win an election, but to treat the last decade like it never existed. Pay attention to that phrase, undo your legacy. That's the battle cry for the next 20 years of American culture.
A new federal arrest is drawing attention to what prosecutors say was Don Lemon's role in planning and recording the disturbing protest of demonstrators storming that Minnesota church service. A Temple University student has now surrendered on federal charges, admitting he helped Don Lemon with logistics and local contacts ahead of that anti-ICE protest. Jerome Richardson, a political science senior, turned himself in and is accused of conspiring to interfere with religious worship. Court records and social media posts show Richardson describing himself as assisting Don Lemon in the days leading up to the protest. Lemon, who claims he was just reporting, was arrested last week and released, but prosecutors say this new arrest undercuts that defense, suggesting planning and not just passive.
Wait, the plot just thickened in the Don Lemon case. That student surrendering is a massive blow to the "I was just a journalist" defense. If you look at the details, Jerome Richardson was allegedly the one handling the logistics and local contacts before they stormed that church. This proves there was a coordinated plan, not just a reporter following a lead. Usually, when associates start turning themselves in, they've already seen the evidence the feds have stacked up. The prosecutors are using social media posts against them, showing that the pregame was more like a strategy meeting for a disruption. It's a tough spot for Lemon because if his team was helping coordinate the waves of protesters, the legal protection for journalism starts to disappear. This snitch basically just handed the prosecution a roadmap of how the whole day was engineered from the inside.
I looked at it, I saw it, and I just looked at the first part. It was about voter fraud in someplace, Georgia. There was a lot of voter fraud, 2020 voter fraud. And I didn't see the whole thing. I guess during the end of it, there was some kind of a picture that people don't like. I wouldn't like it either, but I didn't see it. I looked at the first part, and it was really about voter fraud and the machines, how crooked it is, how disgusting it is. Then I gave it to the people. Generally, they look at the whole thing, but I guess somebody didn't, and they posted, and we took it down, and we turned it, you know. But that was a voter fraud that nobody talks about. They don't like to talk about that post. We took it down as soon as we found out about it.
At the very least, do you condemn the racist parts of the video?
Listen to the tone here. It's rare to see this level of direct explanation regarding a post that backfired. He's doubling down on the voter fraud content while distancing himself from that specific image at the end. It's a classic move. Blame the staff for not watching the full 60 seconds of a clip. But look at the underlying message. He's frustrated that the media is fixated on 1 second of a video instead of the 20 minutes of allegations he's trying to push. It shows the massive gap between what the campaign thinks is important and what the public actually reacts to. Whether you believe he didn't see it or not, the fact that it made it to his main feed shows a serious lack of oversight in the inner circle. It's a reminder that in the age of viral clips, 1 second can completely overshadow hours of evidence you're trying to present.
Well, his behavior is disgusting, and the response has been disgusting. And so, of course, everyday Americans, myself included, are disgusted by it all. And I felt compelled to communicate that in the most clear-throated way possible. Now, the president right now should own up to his mistake. He should apologize. And perhaps most importantly, he should pledge to do better. I mean, we should be bringing the country together. Instead, this guy continues to try to tear us apart. And there's no justification for it. And his behavior, of course, is unacceptable, it's unconscionable, and it's un-American.
The energy in this room is heavy. You can tell this isn't just a prepared statement. It's a strategic strike. Using words like un-American and unconscionable is meant to frame the opposition as an enemy of the state's values. It's a high-stakes game of moral high ground. If you watch the body language, it's all about projecting strength and absolute certainty. They aren't just calling for an apology. They're calling for a total denouncement from the entire party. It's interesting how both sides are now using the exact same language of division to describe each other. It's like two people looking at the same mirror and seeing different monsters. This level of rhetoric makes you realize why the country feels so polarized. When the leaders are using this kind of clear-throated condemnation, there's no room left for a quiet conversation. This is getting complicated. What do you think? Is it a system failure or an individual one? Drop a comment below and let's get into it.